So this is Reiki for financial abundance. So how many of you, anyone brand new to Reiki in this room? Okay, so let me just give you a background of what Reiki is, and then I'll ask my fellow students and colleagues to add. So I think about Reiki as both a philosophy as well as a practice. Philosophy being if energy is moving through your body like it's supposed to, then the body can heal itself more naturally. Anything from physical pain to mental or emotional distress or stress can cause blocks and prevent the energy from moving the way it's supposed to. So what happens during a session is us as practitioners, we channel what's called universal life force energy, pure energy in all living things. It's not our energy. And it's smart enough to know where those blocks are, and it goes through and pushes them out, as well as fills up the gas tanks wherever you're low in energy. Certain people feel different things, heat, cooling, tingling. Some people don't feel anything at all, but most everybody gets to like a deeper state of relaxation. It's about getting kind of your main chakra systems in alignment, cleared out and clean so that you're more whole. So removing fears around money, safety, security, working on self-love, communication, clearly seeing, your self-confidence, all that good stuff. Reiki can help with that, getting you back in alignment. I kind of liken it to getting a tune-up, like you go every 3,000 miles, you get your car like tuned up and oil changed and everything. Having a Reiki session kind of gets you reset. But the trick is, and the key is, you need to stay clean. And the first time we get stressed again, or we go back to that difficult relationship, or we have that physical pain, those chakras and that energy can become blocked again. So it's really kind of up to us to understand why we get blocked in the first place, and the Reiki can help with that. And then also, sometimes we need to make some really difficult lifestyle decisions in order to be free from that stuff 100%. And we can be a channel for it. And what's nice about Reiki is it's got its own intellect. So like it knows where those blocks are, even if you and I, the practitioner, doesn't know, and you don't know. You might come in with like an ache or a pain or a specific goal, but Reiki knows where the real source is, and so it's going to go in and do whatever your higher self deems is appropriate. So let's talk about financial abundance. I'll give you a little of my personal history. Money has never been abundant for me. It's always been a struggle up until I started applying some of the techniques I'm going to share with you guys tonight. I grew up, I was the youngest of 5 in a family. We all went to Catholic school, which is really expensive, and so we had hand-me-downs, and we stood in line in church to get the church cheese, the whole bit, right? So money was not something that was readily available growing up. When I went to college, same thing. I'd scrounge together some quarters to buy a burrito, right? And that's probably most of our college experiences. When I started working professionally and going in high tech, my salary would start growing and growing and growing, but I'd still have like bills that would show up that would consume the money that I was making, the raises I was making. The most I had made in my career was, 6-figure salary, and I was the poorest I'd ever been, because I didn't have the money. I didn't have savings. As soon as I would get a bonus, the car would break down, or the vet. I had to take the cat to the vet. You're nodding. Can somebody of you guys relate? Like, it was like you'd get some money and it would just like water just fall through your fingers. I'm like, what is going on? And I had made the wrong decisions and kept saying yes and yes and yes to my career because that's what I was supposed to do. And I would make more and more money and be more and more miserable and still have less money at the end of the day anyway. Something wasn't working, right? Something wasn't working right. So I started applying the law of attraction principles. So how many of you watched The Secret? Right? Okay, so some of you are familiar with it. Basically, the principle behind law of attraction, if you've heard of Abraham and Esther and Jerry Hicks, and the movie The Secret and Rhonda Byrne and all those guys, it's basically what you think about, you bring about. And what we do in our society, especially here in Silicon Valley, we focus on the lack. What do we not have? We don't have the house. We don't have the salary. We don't have enough money to pay for the bills. Guess what? You're going to continue to be in lack then. So how do you bring yourself out of, well, I don't have enough to pay this bill? Like, it's fear-based, right? And there's a lot. I mean, it's practical too. You live in Silicon Valley. You've got to make $300,000, otherwise you're considered in the poverty level here, right? My husband and I started to do these different exercises, and it wasn't really a conscious thing, but it just we just started doing it. We would go for walks, and we would daydream. And we would daydream about, if we had $1 million, what would we do? If we had $10 million, what would we do? And we talk about it, and we talk about getting out from under rent, getting out from under our mortgage, having a building where both of our businesses could be next door to each other that we could own free and clear. You're in it. You're in it right now. We would feel as if it had already come to pass. We also have this thing called $1 million moments. So when you're stuck in lack, it's important to realize you're going through that pattern, that cycle. Oh, I'm in lack. How do I change that to be in abundance, right? So in the moment, you can look around and say, I'm thankful for this plant, that I can see it, that it's green, that I can touch it, that I can feel it. I'm so grateful, and I feel abundant in my senses. I feel abundant in my body. I feel abundant in my ability to see, my ability to breathe in air, and my ability to communicate with a friend, and my ability to touch a friend. Like, I'm abundant just being, right? That's one thing. Another thing is to notice these moments we call them $1 million moments, where if you had literally $1 million in your pocket, you had the black card or whatever it is, you'd still be doing exactly what you're doing in that moment. So, a day on the beach, beautiful, perfect, pristine, and we're lucky in California, the beach is only 35 minutes away here. Having that day on the beach, if you had $1 million, would you change it? Maybe you have a bottle of champagne with you, but you'd still be doing that, right? Getting a nice massage. You'd still be doing that if you had $1 million. If you feel like a millionaire when you have a massage, a nice, not a crappy massage, good massage. A great meal, right? A nice dinner out. Seeing an amazing movie at the theater. Make yourself feel like you're a millionaire, because those are $1 million moments. And so we got into the habit of, when we're present enough to say, wow, this is really special, we kind of race each other to see who's going to say $1 million moment first. Oh, this is $1 million moment. Beat me. It's $1 million moment. And then sit in that. I'm okay, like, no matter what's going on outside, whatever, in this moment right now, it's pretty damn perfect. I'm going to soak in like a sponge the abundance of this moment. And I'd have all the money in the world, and I'd still be right here doing exactly this thing. Find those moments. Sit in that sense of abundance. Then you'll start to become in the flow of abundance, and you will start to notice those moments more and more and more. And that helps you get out of lack. We're born thinking about lack. We're born thinking about you don't have enough. You got to get a good education to get a job so that you're not on the poor street. Like, the whole point of the Tiger Mom forcing us to go to ballet and piano and this so you can get into a good school so you can become an engineer or a doctor so you can support yourself and then support us when we get old. It's this fear of lack. And what kind of a society do we live in where most of us have this fear of lack. We don't have the resources to take care of children at the border. We don't have the resources to pay for education for everybody. Because we're perpetuating this culture of lack. Does that help anybody? Nope. Really doesn't. We're the richest, I don't know about this anymore, but we were the richest country in the world, yet we have tremendous amount of poor, worse education system, no health care, really. Doesn't make any sense. It's that perpetuation of lack. Let's get underneath what that means, lack. A lot of it is feelings of not being whole in ourselves. Some of us lack self-confidence. A lot of us lack self-love. A lot of us lack self-awareness and value of ourselves. So that if we want to pursue that job, we have fear because we sense that we lack the skills to do it or the brains to learn it quick enough. Where does that come from? A lot of us are like born that way. It's in our DNA because it's ancestral lines. So not only are you dealing with your own baggage of bullshit that you've created over the years, guess what? On your back, you're carrying your mom and your dad and your grandpa and your grandma and the greats and the great and the great, 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 great. So you've got ancestral bags of bullshit that you've been carrying on for all these years. And guess what? There's poverty back there. Unless you're like part of the royal family, and even them, I think they're hurting for cash these days. Like there's lack all the way back there. So even if you feel like you're doing okay, like you're doing everything you're supposed to be doing, but it's just not happening for you, like it's not clicking, a lot of times it's because you're holding on to ancestral lines of poverty, or if you believe in past lifetimes, and you probably, if you'd be in this room, you probably believe in past lifetimes, at some point you took a vow of poverty. A lot of us have done that in our past lives. And we still have it in this current lifetime. So what we're going to do tonight is cut all that shit out. We're going to cut all those cords. I told you I curse. Sorry. For mature audiences only. We're going to cut our ancestral lines. We're going to cut any past lifetimes of vows of chastity too. Vows of poverty. Any weird-ass baggage we signed up for in the past that we're not even conscious of, we're going to cut that out so that we're at least free. So at least all we're dealing with is our own shit. We don't need to deal with everybody else's shit anymore. That's part of the ascension process too, is karma is no longer going to be an issue. And all of our past lifetimes are merging into one. So we're bringing forward all of the lessons without the baggage. Woohoo! Yeah. We need to believe that we deserve it. Fundamental. Number one. Believe you deserve abundance. And if you got some self-loathing happening, some lack of self-value going on, you're not going to get there. So you got to start there. Once you have that sense of self-value and you really are ready to receive abundance, you need to listen to the signs. So many people, like, they want something, but they're really not clear about what they want. They're ambiguous. They're like, I want to be wealthy. But they're not really clear about what that even means to be wealthy. And so the universe will send them like a mixed bag of stuff, and they can't figure out what it is, right? You gotta be clear. What does it mean to be abundant? Financially independent, out of debt-free, abundant health, tons of energy to do all kinds of things. Like you got to be real specific about what it means for you. You got to believe you can deserve it and that you can receive it. And then you got to be specific about what you want. And then you got to open your freaking eyes to see it. When you're in the flow of abundance and the flow of the universe, everything in your life is easy. Everything. Health, wealth, career, relationships, easy. When you hit friction is when you're doing something, like you're off your path. Friction's a great tool to be like, oh, I took a left when I was supposed to take a right. But a lot of us are so afraid of the right turn. We know the left turn is going to be shitty, but we at least know the shit that we're going to go in. That's more palatable to us than the right turn of ambiguity. I quit my job. I was the sole breadwinner for my family. Mortgage, right? My husband was running the store, but that just paid for itself. Nothing, right? But the universe said, Francie, it's time. And I was so desperate and so miserable, and I was in such a soul-sucking job that I thought something's going, like I'm going to die, like something like drastic's going to happen. It was that dire. And the universe is like, you gotta quit and do this. And I'm like, crazy. Leaving a high-tech job, 6 figures to do this? Okay, sure, universe. You need to find me a place I can afford to rent. You need to find money for me to pay my mortgage while I'm building up my practice. So I was getting snooty. I'm like, fine, I'll do what you want me to do, but this is what I need. This, and this. And it happened. I got it all. Being in this space, doing the Reiki practice would not have happened had I not taken the first step. That's another lesson that I learned. You can say all you want to the universe. Bring me this, bring me that, bring me this, and just putting up your order. You do have to put energy towards that yourself. You do need to meet it at a certain point. So me quitting my job was a huge step for me. And it's a huge step for anybody to quit your job like that with nothing else going on. And so me taking that huge step and that huge risk, the universe matched me. But I had to take the first move. I had to make the first move. The material wealth is a symptom of abundance, right? So the wanting the material stuff is nice, but it's not, there's something about getting in the energy of abundance first, and then that stuff will come. So what is behind the car? What is behind the house? What is behind being debt-free? Is it, so get into the feelings of that. It's not the physical house.
Right.
What's the feeling that you want to get in that house?
Right.
Safety,
Security.
stability, security, independence, relief, creativity. If you want to have a garden, you want to paint your wall a different color. You can't do that when you rent a house, right?
I want to
Or rent an
create
apartment.
a very beautiful shrine space.
Shrine space, right? And so it's about getting behind the material things that you want, because we don't want material stuff. We don't. It's the energy behind, or the emotion that those material things bring, that we really want to get after. The material stuff's a symptom. So once you get kind of underneath it a little bit, then you're giving the universe more to work with. Most of us have these holes that are created from fear, that are created from abuse, that are created from lack. And I wrote about this in my newsletter this week. And a lot of us fill it with alcohol, drugs, sex, food, sugar, gluten, it's fill in the blank, shopping. And that only makes the hole dirty, right? So we got to empty out all of our Swiss cheese holes and then fill them with love. And in order to do that, you need to get rid of your fear and remove yourself as an obstacle to receiving love. We're our own biggest problem. Nobody else. Nobody else. Us. help us free ourselves from that energy of lack and open the door so that we're in the flow of abundance. So take a nice deep breath. And let's first just kind of tune in with our body, see how we're feeling. Sense how you're feeling in the chair, if you're on the floor, how you're feeling on the floor. See if you notice any tension, any tightness anywhere. If you do, on the exhale, just try to relax and release. Relax your forehead. Relax all those little muscles behind your eyes. Relax your face, your cheeks, your neck. Every exhale, just feel your body getting deeper and deeper into your chair or onto the floor. Let your arms just hang at their sides. Relax your shoulders. Your arms. Your wrists. Your hands. Down to your fingertips. Relax your chest. And just pay attention to your breathing. Is it shallow or deep? Is it from the chest or from the abdomen? Just observe it, no judgment. Relax your back, your stomach, your pelvic area, your hips, your thighs, your knees, your shins, your calves, your ankles, the top of your feet, and finally the bottom of your feet. Let go of all your anxieties, all your worries. Know that you're completely safe and exactly where you're meant to be in this moment right now. We call on our guides and our angels to be present with us. And we ask specifically for Archangel Michael to be present during this exercise. First, I want you to imagine a ball of white light right in the middle of our circle. It's a beautiful, radiating white light. And it starts kind of small. And as you observe it, using your imagination, that ball of white light gets bigger and bigger. And as it gets bigger, it gets closer to your face. You can start to feel the warmth radiating off of it. As it gets closer, you can breathe in that white light into your body, filling in your lungs. And as you exhale, you breathe out that which you no longer need. And as that white light gets bigger, it starts to encompass the front of your body and then penetrates through to the back of your body. And as it does so, you feel warm, you feel at peace, you feel cleansed and cleared. Take a moment and just bathe in that white light. Let it penetrate each cell, every fiber of your being, helping you to raise your vibration, and helping you to find the courage to release all of those things that no longer serve you. I want you to think about all of those moments where you felt there wasn't enough. There wasn't enough food. There wasn't enough money. There wasn't enough safety. There wasn't enough security. There wasn't enough love. Think of those moments in your life where there just wasn't enough. Bring those memories forward. And now we ask Archangel Michael to take his sword and cut those cords, cut those ties to any and all memories, feelings of lack, of not enough. Breathe in deeply. And on the exhale, release. Release those feelings of not enough. Release those feelings of lack of love. Lack of self-worth. Of not being enough. Now we're going to think about our parents and our families that we were born into. If you experienced any lack as you were growing up, breathe in deeply and ask Archangel Michael to cut those cords now. He takes his sword and he removes those attachments to anything in your current family that is tying you to the energy of lack. Accept this release. You deserve to be free from this. Allow it to happen. Now we're going to go back any past lifetime. Any lifetime where you felt the sense of lack, the sense of poverty, any vows to poverty or chastity that you took. We're going to cut those cords now. As Archangel comes through, breathe in deeply and allow that cord to be released. You are no longer held back by anything in any past lifetime. All past lifetime cords of lack and poverty are now cut. Now think about all of your ancestral lines. Any of your DNA that is tied to that energy of lack or not enough, or having to work hard for your money, or that you don't deserve abundance. Wherever that shows up in your ancestral line, I'm going to ask Archangel Michael to cut. Breathe in deeply as you release all those feelings, all those ancestral lines, all those past lifetimes, that feeling of lack. Release them all. They no longer serve you. You've learned those lessons, and now it's time to make way for abundance. Breathe in that new freedom. Breathe in that energy of absolute, complete abundance. Let that love wash over you. That feeling of you are enough. You are valued. You are so supported. You are so loved. And the universe is there to help support you every step of the way. You deserve love. You deserve abundance. And you've healed now to the point where you're ready to receive it. Breathe that in. Breathe in that love. Breathe in that abundance. Healing whatever it is in your heart you need to heal in order to receive the abundance that is just around the corner waiting for you. You deserve it. And when you're in the flow of abundance, you can share that with others and help them find their own flow and help them cut their ties of lack through your example. We ask Archangel Michael to cut any remaining cords that no longer serve us, anything that our higher selves deem we're ready to release. We ask that he release them now. And Archangel Raphael comes in And he heals all of those cut cords, all of the loose ends. He heals them with his green light, filling your Swiss cheese holes back with love, with light, so that there's no reason whatsoever for you to reattach to any of those old ties of lack. Because now you have what you've always needed. That feeling of love, support, and peace. Breathe that in. Take a few minutes. If there's more things you'd like to cut, or ask Archangel Michael or Raphael or Jesus or Buddha or anybody else's help, this is the time to do so. Feeling so grateful to not be tied to that any longer. Feeling 100 pounds lighter and 100 times freer. Taking a couple more deep breaths. When you feel ready, you can wiggle your toes. Wiggle your fingertips. And when you're ready to come back fully, you can open your eyes.